So the conditional probability, from the conditional probability we will be getting extension of conditional probability is nothing but multiplication law of probability. Okay, so from this we got probability of A given B is equal to this thing. Okay, and we have just now we discussed these two equations, okay, are called multiplication law of probability. Okay, whenever we have assigned a probability, we have to see that probability of particular event should satisfy the axioms, and we have seen that there are three axioms. Okay, so what is the first axiom? The first axiom says that probability of any event should be non-negative number. Okay, so you see here the probability of A given B simply reflects the fact that probability of an event A may depend on the second event B. Okay, so if A and B are mutually exclusive, this also we have discussed. So A intersection B is equal to null set. So what is the probability of A given B will be equal to 0, because probability of A given B is equal to what? Probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Since probability of A intersection B is equal to 0, probability of A given B will be equal to 0. And see here, so probability of A given B, we have to see that it should satisfy the axiom number 1. So from the definition of axiom number 1, the probability of any event should be non-negative number. So probability of A given B is equal to what? It is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So because probability of A intersection B and probability of B are non-negative numbers, probability of A given B is also non-negative. So it satisfies axiom number 1. What is axiom number 2 says? Probability of sample space is equal to 1. So the second axiom is shown to be satisfied by letting S is equal to A. Okay, substitute in the place of A, substitute S. Okay, so then we have probability of, see here, we have probability of S by B is equal to what? Probability of S intersection B divided by probability of B. So you know that if you see this Venn diagram, if your B is like this, okay, now if you intersect B with S, we get complete B part. So probability of S intersection B will be equal to probability of B only. So it is equal to probability of B divided by probability of B is equal to 1. So that is why it is also satisfying axiom number 2. So what is axiom number 2 says? If you, what is the probability of sample space is equal to 1. So to do that, what we do here, we substitute S is equal to A. Okay, so probability of S by B, we are getting it as 1. Okay, so now see here, and we have to see that it is also satisfies axiom number 3. What is axiom number 3? When this will be satisfied, axiom number 3 will be satisfied when this condition is true. What is this condition? When two events are mutually exclusive, okay, the union of that, probability of union of the two events will be equal to sum of probability of individual events. Okay, so that is why we have taken the third event C, which is mutually exclusive to A. Okay, so now we have to prove that it is equal to probability of A given B plus probability of C given B. Okay, so if it is true, then axiom number 3 is satisfied. Otherwise, axiom number 3 is not satisfied. Okay, so what is that given? A and C are mutually exclusive. If A and C are mutually exclusive, what is that indicates? It indicates that A intersection B value will be equal to 5. A intersection C. A intersection C R is equal to 5. Now you see this Venn diagram. We have selected Venn diagram such that A intersection C is equal to null set. It means that A and C does not intersect. But A and B will intersect, B and C will intersect. Okay. And one more condition is that this part. What is this part? Anybody? What is these two parts, ma? What is this part? What is this part?
A intersection B, B intersection C.
Yeah, it is A intersection B. What is this part? This part is?
B intersection C.
Yeah, very good. It is B intersection C. And one more thing we have to observe that A intersection B and B intersection C are also mutually exclusive because these two does not have any common element. So these two are also mutually exclusive. Okay. Now what we have, we'll be using distribution law, that is A in union C intersection B can be written as A intersection B union C intersection B. And now these two are mutually exclusive. If these two are mutually exclusive, we can use axiom number 3. So the probability of union of two mutually exclusive events will be equal to sum of the probability of individual events. So what are the individual events now here? Individual event will be A intersection B, C intersection B. These are the individual events. So it will be equal to probability of A intersection B plus probability of C intersection D. Is it clear? Okay. Now we will find out what is a probability of A union C given B. So from the conditional probability, so we know that from the conditional probability we know that probability of A given B, probability of A given B will be equal to what? What is probability of A given B? Is equal to probability of, sorry, A intersection B by probability of B, no? So probability of A intersection B by probability of B. Okay. So from this, so in the place of A, we assume A union C. So A union C intersection B divided by probability of B. Again, A union C intersection B, we replace with this previous equation. What is that equation? Probability of A intersection B plus probability of C intersection B. From this equation, we have, okay, see from this equation, what is probability of A union C intersection B? So probability of A union C intersection B will be equal to probability of A intersection B plus probability of C intersection B. Here also we'll be substituting probability of C intersection B. Okay. So what is this first formula gives? The first formula gives probability of A given B. The second one gives probability of C given B. Okay. So it is satisfying this condition. If this condition is satisfied, then what is that? It will be satisfying axiom number 3. Since this condition is satisfied, it will be satisfying axiom number 3 here. Okay, so like this, conditional probability will satisfy the axioms. Okay, students, any doubts here? Is it clear? Hello, students, any doubts here? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we see this example. Here you see this table. We have the resistance of different resistance of the values 22, 47, 100. Okay. And this resistance will also have different tolerance value, 5% tolerance, 10% tolerance. Okay. So the 22 ohm resistance with the 5% tolerance, we have 10, and 22 ohm resistance with 10% tolerance, we have 14. So total 22 ohm resistance will be 24. Understood this table, all of you? See here, we have one more resistance, 47 ohm resistance. In that 28 resistance are having 5% tolerance, and 16 resistance will have 10% tolerance. So total 47 ohm resistance will be 44. Similarly, 100 ohm resistance we have with 5%, we have 5% tolerance, we have 24. With 10% tolerance, we have 8. Okay. So total 100 resistance tolerance will be 32. And the total 5% tolerance resistance will be 62. How many resistance we have with 5% tolerance will be 62. How many resistance we have with the 10% tolerance will be 38. Total number of resistance will be equal to 100. Okay, so this is the given. Okay, now we have to find out what is the probability of getting a resistance with the value 47 ohm. Okay, so what is that given? We have to get a probability of getting a 47 ohm. Okay, there is no any other conditions, only we have to get 47 ohm resistance. So how many resistance we have with the 47 ohm resistance here is 44, no? It is 44. Okay, so 44 divided by total number of resistance, that is 100. Okay, so that is why we are getting here 44 by 100. Similarly, the total number of resistance with 5% tolerance. How many resistance we have with 5% tolerance? You see here, there are 62 resistances we have with 5% tolerance. So it is 62 by 100. Okay, and similarly, what is the probability uh, of picking a resistance with 100 ohm? Okay, so how many resistance we have? 32 here. So it is 32 by 100. Okay, now we have to find out joint probability. So whenever you pick a resistance of 47 ohms, that resistance should have 5% tolerance. Okay, we are picking a resistance with 47 ohms and that have 5% tolerance. Okay, so you just see here. So if you find out that, so 47 ohm resistance with how much tolerance? 5% tolerance. How many resistance we have with 5% tolerance here? 28 resistances we have with 5% tolerance. Divide by total number of resistance. Because there is no conditional probability here. It is just joint probability. So we are finding A intersection B. Okay, so 47 intersection 5% tolerance. So there are 28 resistance. So it will be 28 by 100. Similarly, you see here 47 ohm resistance and 100 ohm resistance. Okay, so because there is these two intersection is not possible, what is the probability will be equal to 0. So you cannot have a resistance with 47 ohm and 100 ohm resistance, yes or no? So what is the A intersection C value will be 0. Similarly here, what is the probability of getting 5% tolerance and 100 ohm resistance? Okay, so 100 ohm resistance with 5% tolerance, there are 24 resistance. So it is 24 by 100. Now you see conditional probability. Conditional probability is that probability of A given B. Okay, so it means that the probability of getting a resistance of 47 ohm with 5% tolerance. Okay, so here what is A intersection B is 28 by 100, no more. A intersection B is 28 by 100. Okay, probability of B is 62 by 100. So what you get here, it is 28 by 62. Similarly, probability of A given C. So it is probability of A intersection C divided by probability of C. Anyway, numerator is 0. So you get this value is equal to 0. Similarly, probability of B given C. Probability of B given C is probability of B intersection C divided by probability of C. Okay. So what is probability of B intersection C is equal to 24. It is equal to 24 and probability of C is equal to 32. So what is the probability of C here? See here. So it is 32. Okay. So that is why the value will be equal to 24 by 32. Is it clear? It is equal to 24 by 32. Okay. So like that we will be finding the probability. First we have to find out what is the probability of individual um, outcome, individual event. Okay, then we have to find out the joint probability, then we will be finding the conditional probability. Is it clear, students? Any doubts here? See this example. First we found what is P of A, P of B, P of C. Then we found joint probabilities, A intersection B, A intersection C, B intersection C. Okay, then we are finding conditional probability, probability of A given B, probability of A given C, probability of B given C. So probability of A given B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Probability of A given C will be equal to probability of A intersection C by probability of C. Similarly, probability of B given C will be equal to probability of B intersection C by probability of C. Okay, now students, any doubts here?